Tanse Nito Temtek. Good morning, everyone, or hello, whatever time it is where you are. I'm on the beautiful New Chelmsford lands today in Port Alberni, and I'm here with Sharlene Hamilton. And I have known Sharlene for, I, I don't know, maybe 8 years now, something like
Probably. Yeah.
that. And she's a really special person.
Oh, thank you.
And sure, I'll let Charlene introduce herself in a minute, but I just want to start by saying that Charlene has lived a very intense and important experience where she got to go and spend time in the afterlife on the other side of the veil and come back. And I thought it would just be so beautiful for people to hear your story. So is
Thank
it
you.
okay if I hand it over to you, Charlene, and ask,
Oh,
introduce yourself and situate what we're going to talk about, and just
sure.
I want to acknowledge the ancestors and spirit, our guardians from the other side, and that these knowledges are so important, I think. Yeah.
And also divine timing. I've been asked to be interviewed on this topic um, several times throughout the years, and it just didn't feel right. I just didn't feel I was able to connect with the person because it's my story.
Yeah.
And I really connect with you, Kathy, and you've helped me out on so many different things in my life this far, and I appreciate you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation. So yeah, I'm Sharlene Hamilton. I'm sitting in beautiful Okanagan in Kelowna, um, land of the Siouxsie people. Um, Right now, if you could smell my home, it smells like turkey just beginning to filter through your nose. And I'm feeling like I need to have turkey dinner right now, but it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. But it's my favorite holiday, and the reason why it's my favorite holiday is because it's not overly commercialized, and people aren't living up to that expectation of giving gifts and doing all the things. It's like, hey, like, after your exercises today, come on over, have a meal. It's a buffet, and just come as you are. Yeah. So that's a little bit me. I have a partner of 20 years married, 36 years together, in my mid 50s. And this experience happened when I was 25 years old.
Okay. And you're also a counselor. You help people and
Oh,
you
yeah, I forgot that part.
that's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had various careers. Uh, One I can get into during the story. So I'll leave that one to the side. But my biggest, most worthwhile calling or passion is helping people make meaning in their lives, and somehow I get paid for it. And I a lifelong learner, but yes, I work at a clinic, and I'm a master practitioner in clinical counseling.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, so you want to tell us what happened?
Hmm. Okay, sure. Is this just being audioed, or is it also being shown like on a video?
We see you.
You do, eh?
Yeah.
I should have put my makeup on. Um,
You look
but here I
grand.
am.
Yeah.
Do I got the CBC National T-shirt on. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, um, yeah. So I was 25, and I was living in Ottawa, Ontario.
Mhm.
And can you see me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, Ottawa, Ontario. And it was a January evening in 1993. And I played competitive sports. I was playing competitive basketball. I played competitive ringette. A lot of the people in the east of Canada will totally know what ringette is. And do you know what ringette is?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you. So it's similar to hockey, except for as if you had a hockey stick and you cut off the blade and you just have the stick. A lot of folks had played it in the gym um, with a ring, and you would just catch it on your stick and you'd whip it and you throw
Okay.
it around. But now you just think of all that, but with all your hockey gear on and your
Mhm.
skates and everything. And it's like 5 against 5, and there's all these rules. And you go really quickly because you don't have to look down because the ring is on your stick. And it's like a tremendous, fast paced game. And I was kind of addicted to it. I loved it, totally loved it. So, just cutting to the chase of that important nugget is because my mother and I were going to the beginning of a ringette tournament in Cumberland, Ontario. And so that was only about an hour, just under an hour from Ottawa to where I needed to go. And so I was teasing my mom a lot because my parents used to come and watch my sports a lot, but my mom hadn't been coming to see me play that much. And even though I was 25, you still want your mom in the stands. So I picked her up after work, a little bit of a guilt trip, and it was snowing and a bit slushy in the Ottawa January season. And we were on a secondary highway and we were driving, and I was going pretty slow because it's pretty slushy and it's dark out.
Uh-huh.
And I look and I see, oh, this car has kind of swerved off and their trunk part is in the like off the shoulder of the secondary highway.
Mhm.
And so I also glimpsed, they were going slow because we're going down a little hill. And I looked and I saw, a couple of people with gray hair. And I just said, oh, mom. Now, mind you, this is before cell phones,
Yeah.
right? There was no cell phones. And I said, mom, we should stop and help. And she goes, okay, okay. So I pulled my car up off the shoulder
Mhm.
and we get out and I go around to the car. So the car is like the trunk end is in here. The highway is like this.
Mhm.
And it's slushy, but people are going slow and it's very dark. And so I come around here and I open up the car door to the driver's door, put my hand on top of the car,
Mhm.
and this woman with gray hair, and I can't really see what she really looks like right now, but she just turns and she just puts her hands on her face. And she goes, oh my gosh, thank you so much for stopping. Um, we could have been in a serious accident. And I said, you know, yeah, my mom and I are here. We can help you. You're not in an accident. You're okay. We're just going to get out and push the car up to the side of the road. So I don't know how long that would have taken, maybe 40 seconds, maybe 45 seconds as you're just meeting someone and you want to get going, right?
Yeah.
And so she comes out of the car and she starts to go along the side of her own car back towards the snow. Another woman in the back seat has also gotten out and started just sort of getting out. Another young woman comes over these are very important details, comes over the seat,
Yeah.
the seat in the front, and she starts to come out slowly. And she puts her legs out as if you're getting out of your car and you're getting ready to, there's a steering wheel and you're getting ready to get up.
Yeah.
As she puts her legs over, and as my arm is there, my mom is right in front of me. And I said, we better get going because it's dark. And I turn, and this other car came flying into us. I didn't even have time to push my mom out of the way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We were already hit.
Yeah.
So my body, so four of us are hit. So this happened all like the front part of the woman's car hit us, the headlight, that end of the car hit me. So I banged up against the young woman's legs she was coming out of the driver's seat
Yeah.
to help us, right? So my body got hit on the right side. I slammed into her, broke her ankle,
Mm.
come to find out later. But because that door was open, Kathy, it saved my life.
Yeah.
Because if the car door was closed and I got hit, I would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
But the way it hit my body and the way I was turned to try to push my mom out of the way, I got up inside the ceiling of the car and back down. And that's when I looked up and there was no sound, zero sound,
Hmm.
zero pain, zero pain. And I didn't know at the time that I was, well, I'll tell you what that later.
Yeah.
So this is January evening, about 7 o'clock now, I guess. And I lift up and it's quiet and I look and all I see is wheat fields, tall wheat fields. And they're tall enough that it's kind of like up to my ribs.
Hmm.
And typically I'd be afraid of something like that because I would be catastrophizing in my life that, well, there might be a snake or a rat coming to get me, you know? Nah, I felt nothing but warmth, love. Um, I couldn't quite, I couldn't quite make it out that if it was evening or if it was morning, because there's two distinct colors, and it's the colors that we know that are like this the colors that we see in the sunsets right now, that orangey red,
Hmm.
and then this kind of blue. But they weren't fluffy and everything. They were two perfect lines. And they were magnified like 1,000 times the color. Like I've never seen the color like that.
Wow.
And so I couldn't tell if it was daytime or getting into the evening.
Mhm.
But these wheat fields, so I'm walking along. Um, it's vast. It's like circle, like it was not like everywhere I looked. And then I saw some movement in the wheat. I don't know what it is. I still don't know. I could guess maybe in my human mind that it might be a dog or something, but I wasn't alone in some ways.
Yeah.
And then so all I felt was this love, this surrounding. It was warm, warm, warm. It was like someone had taken a very warm, cozy blanket
Mhm.
out of the dryer, just as it's out of the dryer, and just wrapped you around. Not in a claustrophobic way, but just in a whole, my whole body way. And it was awesome. And so then I started asking these questions. And why am I here? You know, is this heaven? Is this what's called heaven? And a return acknowledgement was not in a human kind of voice.
Mhm.
It wasn't a gender voice. It was a knowing.
Yeah.
And that's all I can describe. It was a knowing. And I knew, and that knowing knew. Um, and everything was accepted. Well, the thoughts that are coming through my head, well, if this is heaven, if you want it to be heaven, it's heaven. Nothing like I learned in Sunday school.
Mhm.
Um, and like I was just really confused, but I was very joyful. Like I was like, it's almost like, should I have the cotton candy or should I have the candy apple? Like I was very joyful
Yeah.
around, do I stay or do I go? And then I started getting, like my personality was coming out like, well, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be here or not? Like, just tell me. Just tell me. Um, and the knowing would say, if you're going to go back, you've got to go back now.
Mhm.
If you're going to stay, you stay.
Yeah.
And I, I said, well, what is my purpose? I kept bugging this knowing, like, what is it? And it would not answer.
Uh-huh.
It was just love. It was just like this constant feeling of love. I felt very light and loved. Like, yeah. I'm glad we're having this talk because I get bogged down in the little things of life and I forget there's a lot of choice,
Yeah.
right? And it's good to be reminded that it's all love. And it's not Hallmark. It's not that type of love. It is knowing like no one's business. It's a knowing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but the knowing was saying if you're going to go back, you got to go back. So I said, okay, I'm going back now. And the knowing said to me, when you go back, you're laying on your mother. You need to get the gum out of her mouth. She's choking.
Mhm.
Like made no sense to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of like an obstinate 25-year-old. Yeah, yeah, I got that kind of thing. Not scared, not anything, like very much confident, very loved, very assertive, very like all the things I want to be in life.
Mm.
Um, and so here's the trippy part. Okay. So first of all, I don't know how long this lasted, this whole episode. I could not tell you. Um, and but as I was coming back into my awareness of being human in my body, I went through a period of time of regrets, lies, shame, um, kind of sneakiness that, I've done, like take a marble from the marble pot when I was playing. So what I want to say is like it all just like the knowing came in to
Mhm.
knowing me, to me knowing it and it knowing me. Also recognition of perceived flaws or things that how I've harmed people, um, or harmed myself. And it came in a form of just like a child would understand through alphabet soup letters. Now, yeah, this is not a Netflix series. I'm telling you, this is the truth. It came so slowly across my head, like someone was typing, except for they were floaty alphabet pasta soup letters. And yes, regrets, shame, lies. Like one came very clear when I just got my license, and my brother was so obstinate, he would not move his bike out of the road so I could drive into the driveway.
Right.
So I drove over his bike.
Mhm.
Well, and somehow he got in trouble for that. So, mom and dad, if you're listening to this, it was me. And I manipulated the whole situation that it was his fault. He got in trouble. His bike was like, but there it was.
Right there.
Now, Kathy, this was not a I told you so, a scolding. There was no emotional attachment,
Yeah.
as if you were reading the newspaper yourself about someone else's life. And, oh, that's interesting. That's their experience. I just really want to make it clear that it was a whole experience, not just love and warm blanket feeling, but also recognition. And in my experience, it was like, oh yeah, yep, yep, was all, there was no debate or anything for that part. It
That's
was like, yep,
mm.
Um, so that kind of fades out, and now I'm back into the winter and back into the scene. And I look down and my hands are over my mom like this. I'm laying on her. And may I be graphic or
Yeah, we can put a content warning. Yeah.
okay, okay. So I look down because this will be hard, and
Mm.
I could only see one of my legs.
Mhm.
So my other leg was wrapped around my back. It was
Wow.
broken.
Okay. Gee,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No pain,
beautiful.
no pain, no
Yeah.
pain. And so I looked down and I said, first thing, oh shit, there goes playoffs. Like I was like coming into my ego.
Mhm.
Uh, like I'm gonna miss playoffs. Can you imagine? That was the first thing. And then when I was looking down, I'm looking at my mom. I'm like, oh yeah, the knowing said. So I did a finger sweep, but all my body weight in the dark was all in one hand with a broken leg behind me.
Yeah.
And I finger sweep her mouth and I took out the gum. And she started to go like this. And she was alive.
Yeah.
Um, and then I hear the other people start moaning now, and my mother yelling, Charlene, where am I? What's happened? Like over and over and over. And I'm still standing here.
Mhm.
Like that's it's not standing, that's an expression. Still like all my hands, like my hands are down, and um, you can hear cars going by because people don't stop sometimes, a lot of times, and that's fine
Yeah.
because look what happened when we stopped. And then um and then all of a sudden
Mhm.
this man, his name's Matthew, and he says, uh, hey, we got to get you off your mom. And I start getting very aggressive, assertive. I'm like, I know first aid. And at a scene of an accident, you're never supposed to move the patient. Like I was like in that mode of like I'm taking control of this.
Yeah.
It was just really wild. And he goes, no, no, I'm an off-duty firefighter coming home from Montreal, and I am here to help you. And right now, we got to get you off your mom. And I'm like, well, go get my mom's purse out of the car. I don't want anyone stealing my mom's purse. Like all these things. Like
Yeah.
it's very, very, very. So next thing you know, they lift me off my mom, and like it's so dark, right? And you got a few headlights. It was like a movie almost. And someone sits me down, and like kind of someone's leaning their body. So I don't even know who this person is, a bystander. He's on his knees with his body like this, and he's just holding my back like
Uh-huh.
this. And can you imagine what he went through? Like to see what I was looking like
Yeah.
and everything else. Um, again, no pain. And now I'm starting to get really, really worried. In the meantime, another car hit another car, and
Oh.
you could hear the smash of the windows. So I can't move. I can't even turn. And I'm hearing this, and I kept saying, oh God, please, please, someone come and help us, even though there's people there helping us. And then all of a sudden, these ambulances come, and I was coherent. I could like whip off my father's phone number, um, my brother, who he is, all the things I could take care of, right?
Yeah.
And then the ambulance attendant says, "Okay, Charlene, we're gonna lay you back, and we need to put your leg in traction." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And I had no idea what they meant. And they said, "Breathe in this oxygen really deep, three times." So I really, really did it. And as I did that, they had to bring my leg back, and then they wrapped me all up in all the tight things.
Yeah.
I look, Kathy, this is no word of a lie. I looked down, and the oxygen thing wasn't attached. So the mask is on me,
Yeah.
and then the thing is hanging there
Oh
beside me.
no.
Um, it was a cold night.
Yeah.
Um, I passed out at that point,
Yeah.
and then I could see myself and this woman clear as a bell. I'm in the ambulance. She's looking down at me like this, keeps wanting me to talk, and we got the clavicle, got all those things on, and I'm like, I know you know me, so you know my personality, and other people might be thinking, really? But really, I was like, do I have to have this clavicle on? Like, I started getting really kind of grouchy.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm claustrophobic. I do not want this thing on me. And they're like, no, Charlene, we're just, just for precautions, and you're doing okay, you're doing okay. But I just remember having this whole argument to the hospital. So we get to the Ottawa General Hospital. Um, at that time, my name was Gibson, so it's Charlene Gibson and Carol Gibson, my mom, and uh, we're we're in the ER, and like a whole swat of people are all around me, and um, the surgeon comes over and he asked me all these questions, and I got to explain everything that I understood, and then um, he said, "Well, your mom's gonna be okay. Your dad's on his way, and we're gonna have to get you in surgery." And I said, as I'm laying there, they got all my clothes off, all the tubes and all this. I'm like, can't you just put a cast on it? I've got playoffs, I've got playoffs. And he just kind of, I remember him kind of tapping me. He's like, no playoffs, no playoffs for this year, and no cast. He goes, I think the surgery will take about 3 hours, and uh, we'll see you. So then I was out cold.
Yeah.
So I wake up, and I ended up having a partial collapsed lung. I had a broken hip, broken femur, of course,
Yeah.
tibia, fibula broken, no concussion, no spine damage, but my body was about 3 times bigger from the swelling. It looked like a beluga whale with green everywhere, and no cast, but I had all these, I had a catheter, had all the, discomfort thing, and that's when the pain started coming in.
Right.
And then I don't know who told me, I don't know, some medical person told me that um, I needed 8 blood transfusions during what was a 6-hour surgery, not 3, and that my body crashed 3 times and brought back. And in those 3 times, I don't remember a thing.
Right.
There was no experience like I had at that experience at the car.
Hmm.
So meanwhile, my mom's body had to, um, the swelling was so immense, like we were both in ICU, um, that she needed a 12-hour surgery. And there was only a doctor in Toronto that was used to doing pelvis, hip, femur work, because she had both legs, her femur, her pelvis was smashed. She needed 7 plates and 20 screws to keep her back together,
Jeez.
and her hip. And she was in her mid to late 50s, maybe early 60s.
Mhm.
No, mid 50s, I guess. Yeah. So they had to wait for her swelling to go down, and then the air ambulanced her to Toronto Sunnybrook Hospital,
Mhm.
and met up with this surgeon, and she was there for 6 weeks, which meant I had no parents with me.
Mhm.
Um, Various people came in and out of ICU, and I was in hospital 3 weeks after that.
Mhm.
Learning how to roll over, um, how to lift my body up so I can go to the bathroom in the pan. Um, I didn't know I was allergic to codeine medicine, and I had a very traumatic experience around codeine. I didn't know, but then I knew I was allergic. Like bed sores and rashes, and it was awful. Um, so my mom, yeah, she ended up having 14-hour surgery, put her all back together, and yeah, 6 weeks she was in there. Mine was 6 hours, and then I had 4 surgeries within 2 years. I The one neat thing kind of helped me on my path because there's always two sides or 10 sides to a story. And there was a Catholic sister who came to visit me every day, hence my parents weren't there. Um, and I kept saying, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm not Catholic." And she's like, "Oh dear, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just here to visit you." And we struck up quite the conversation. And I remember saying her here, if I can walk again and get my life back, I'm going to do what you're doing. I'm going to come to the orthopedic wards and I'm going to give people hope. And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice, dear, and give the kid more morphine." And um, so I remember that. So this is an important part of the nugget. And um, so anyway, fast forward, um, had to have I was with a roommate and I had to have, um, hospital bed and um, all the things to recover. And getting back in a car was absolutely terrifying in the February freeze, and it was just terrifying. But and then getting out of the car and then having to get transferred into a wheelchair and et cetera, et cetera. So the kind of break that I had, they said there was like a 5% chance first that I could survive it, could be alive. Only a 5% chance. Do you believe that?
Mhm.
And then on top of that, it was like, I don't know, a 2 and 5%, two out of five will never walk again. I'm like, I got playoffs. Um, I'm 25. Are you kidding me? I'm not. Oh, are you kidding? No. So I've done hard things. So here's a picture of my mom and I. Um,
Oh
we
boy.
went in a 5K walk race, uh, just to be competitive. Um, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, that's my dad. So yeah, so my dad's there,
Yeah.
my mom's there, and then I'm on the end here with long hair. Yeah. Um, so yeah, so the physiotherapy, I had to really build up here. I had to learn how to transfer out of a wheelchair, um, to a walker. The parallel bars I had to, like, I knew in my mind that I can go walk on your heel side toe, but I just couldn't lift my leg. It was so heavy. Because I had a rod in from my hip to my knee, and then one from my knee to my ankle, and you can see where they missed on my leg
Yeah.
because I only have two screws that was holding that together, and there's four holes. So yeah, we all make mistakes. So but they still hurt today. Like when I always look like I have these big varicose veins everywhere, but actually it's just where they drilled into my leg, and then in the next 2 years, I end up getting all the stuff out. I don't have any permanent uh, replacements or rods or steel of anything. Um, so anyway, yeah, so I was able to walk. I remember I had to do a therapy where I had to pick up these little, with my toes, I had to pick up marbles and put them in a cup. And that was like, if I could get two in an hour, that was amazing. So then, yeah, my mom took a lot longer to recover, a lot longer, and she still has quite the like a limp, as if you just stepped on a Lego piece and went like that sort of thing. And for me, I don't have much pain. I every now and again, if I roll over a certain way, I'm like, oh yeah, my hip muscle. It's the muscles that are a bit sore.
Mhm.
Um, one of my legs is just a bit wee shorter. My right leg is just a bit shorter. So sometimes I have to have like shoes that I have to really make sure that it doesn't hurt my back. It's the low back that gets me. Um, yeah, so learn how to walk, and then my goal was I wanted to be able to skate again.
Yeah.
And surgeon's like, oh no, no, no. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. And it, against because I was a competitive uh, person in the ringette place in the ringette clubs or whatever, I knew one guy who had the key to the arena, and I just said, hey, like I'm just gonna meet you 10 o'clock tomorrow. I just want to try and just go around once. So my left leg, I had the skate on fine. My right leg, I couldn't even do it up. I had to just put tape around it because it's still quite swollen.
Well,
And it took me, he put the clock on, and it took me 2 minutes and 50 seconds or something weird like that just to go around once.
yeah.
And I could only do it once, and it was kind of dragging, but I did it. And then I somehow knew inside that the knowing knew that, and I was gonna be okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, you sure showed them. I have a couple questions. Is it okay if I ask them?
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
might have missed some stuff because it's been a long time since I've talked about it.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, can I just finish one more thing? One
Sure,
more thing.
yeah.
So yeah, so then I go into you know, like I'm 27 now, 26, 27. I was doing some school at Algonquin College in Ottawa. But I went back to church because I said, like, what's this all about? What is this knowing? What's going on? Like, what, why am, I had two other friends die at that time, one of a brain aneurysm and one of stomach cancer, and we were all the same age. I'm like, why did I live? So I was really pissed off for a long time that why are these people dying, these decent people, and
Mm,
my chances were less than 5%, right?
yeah.
So I had to go through that grief, and then I went back to church and still couldn't figure anything out. And then I moved to Calgary, and I went to a church there. And the minister, I said, oh, I think I might want to join the choir. I really like the music. He's like, well, we were thinking about something different for you. I'm like, oh, what? And he goes, oh, we are thinking about maybe being a youth leader or something. Like you're really good for kids. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, that seems fun. So then that just flew me forward into ministry. Ended up becoming a spiritual director. I went through the United Church discernment process, become a minister. Um, didn't quite get to all the places I needed to get to in terms of having a master's of divinity, et cetera, et cetera. I just kept going where the doors were open, and I'd connect with my people, and then I'd be doing a work, some kind of work. And one of the works in Calgary was I was becoming a chaplain to for non-denominational people, and you could work in prisons, hospitals, or schools. And I chose the hospital, and there was only 5 chaplains allowed or that were selected for that year, and I'm there. And then the clinical director goes, well, and Sharlene, you're going to be working on orthopedic floor. I'm like, you're kidding me. And he's like, yeah, is that okay? I said, oh yeah. I said, I recovered from an accident a little while ago. I said, yeah, I might be able to help. He's like, okay, yeah. So just that, and the emergency, which I love the emergency. I loved it. And so it was on my last week of this, being an intern chaplain, my last week in my time, and this doctor had transferred from Sunnybrook Hospital, and he was this new hotshot, uh, amazing surgeon,
Mhm.
and he's here working on the floor now, blah blah blah, not cluing into anything. So I'm with a patient and just being with her, preparing to get her hip replaced. And she's so terrified, but she goes, did you know that there's a new doctor here? And I said, yeah, I just heard that. And da da da. And he's from Sunnybrook. So she had to say it. She had to say it too. And I'm like, Sunnybrook, yeah, yeah, Toronto, yeah, yeah. I said, yeah, I know about, they do good work there and kind of going on. And then as I leave the hospital room, I'm like, just a minute. do you think it could be possible that he operated on my mom?
Mhm.
Could that be possible? And so I went to the unit clerk and I said, "Where's the doctor?" And she said he was in the casting room. I went to the casting room and I'm like, "Ah, sorry. Hi, I'm Chaplain." You know, like, um, I understand you're newer here. Yeah, been here a month or something. I said, "Okay." And I said, "You wouldn't happen to remember Carol Gibson and her daughter got in a major car accident, and you worked on this. You might have worked on this woman's hip and leg." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't remember the names, but we called them the Good Samaritans."
Oh,
And I said, "Well, I'm her daughter." And I said, "I've never been able to thank you." He starts crying. I start crying, and I release guilt because I begged my mom to come to my ringette tournament on that night.
yeah.
And if she didn't come, she wouldn't have been hurt. And that's the human mind.
Yeah.
So there we are, and you know, and that was one way to go out. And then just from there, called my mom. I said, "You will not believe this. You will not believe this." And so that was really cool to be able to thank him.
Yeah. It went full circle.
So
And you
it
got to
went,
hear that you're the Good Samaritans.
yes, yes, Good Samaritan sisters, he called us. And I mean, what are the chances?
Hmm.
What are the chances? We're both in different provinces. We're working on the same floor in the same hospital with the same patient.
Wow.
So just remember, like, the knowing knows you. And we can have all these fights and debates over religion till the cows come home. But at the end, I want to say there's only love and there's no pain.
Yeah. Yeah, that really struck me. That's one of my questions, just how you understood the fact of in the moment and going through that experience and then coming back. You had no pain then. It was later on in the medical system. But how did you I guess make meaning of that there's love
Mm,
and your body was broken and you weren't feeling pain then?
I don't even have words for it. It's just, it's the one thing I feel like I can count on.
Yeah.
I I'm not afraid of the threshold of other side. Zero zippo. My human longing to miss my kids and my family and things, of course, of course. And I don't want to go towards pain to of a illness or something. I don't want to.
No.
No one wants that. We know what that feels like because the recovery was quite painful. Um, but the meaning of it or the understanding, I
Mhm.
just don't. I just can't put it into words. I just know.
Yeah, I love that.
And there's no big light. You know how there's stories of people's near death experiences of this, this light and this thing and seeing themselves. Well, I was myself in this wheat field, like all myself. And yet my other body was there on the ground, broken.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. And what struck me is that you chose to come back, and from what I know of you, even if you knew of all that pain and recovery and rehab and everything you had to go through, you still would have come back.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
But
Like a
it's a
challenge,
choice
right?
now. It's not just something
Yeah.
that happened. It's something that you actively participate
hmm
in deciding, right?
hmm I actually got to decide.
Yeah.
And I just knew in that experience in the wheat fields with the colors and the warmth that it was like I wasn't going to miss out that. that's going to be here
Yeah.
or there or both. And but the unknown was the 25-year-old young woman. That was the unknown. But the knowing is the other next breath. It's the next breath.
Uh-huh. And I just love how ringette was such a strong pull and motivator for you in so many aspects of your choices and recovery.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, the power of being on a team, the power of joy, the power of losing
Mhm.
makes you want to win.
Yeah, and you have
Because
to
when
show
you
up
do,
to win.
yeah, when you do win, it's not normal because only can be won by one team, one person, whatever. It's not a typical experience. You're more typical to come second or 100 than you are to be the one.
Mhm.
So I had very great, inspiring coaches that really cared about us. And my heart breaks for people who have had really horrible bullying, sexual violence, all the things that are, really on the front lines now, that have been forever. I know, but I was just really, really lucky, really
Mhm.
lucky. Yeah. And when they say you lose a few friends, you do. You do. You lose a few people that you think that would always be there as my 25-year-old self would be
Yeah.
the story I'd be telling me. And then there's other people that came out of the woodwork that I didn't even think they really knew me, you know?
Mhm.
Wild, wild. Yeah.
So my last question is about the alphabet soup. Was that the life review that people talk about?
I don't think so. I don't think it was a life review. I think it was a beautiful contrast to the knowing and the warmth and the love. And
Mhm.
that is one part of who we are.
Yeah.
And also, we have to acknowledge our mistakes or choices,
Yeah.
intentional or not.
Mhm.
And it wasn't even a pinch. It was just an acknowledgement. Um, but it was dark
Mhm.
enough for these little souplet, like they are floating. It was almost like I was high, and I've never done drugs except for codeine in my life. Uh, like I don't know what it means. Like when people say, "Oh, mushrooms and things are float," like you can see that when you watch a documentary or watch a movie, and this perception of it, it was like that. It was these floating regrets,
Uh-huh.
um, or I'm sorry for, but there was no.
Mhm.
You're not doom and gloom to shame and becoming a Lego-sized person. It was just this is all of who you are.
Mhm. And you could see that with equanimity. Like,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. And it would make no sense to anyone else. But they floated along slow enough
Mhm.
that I got it. And there was no pictures. I didn't need pictures because they were attached to memory,
Uh-huh.
my memory of it. And it was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't want people thinking that it's a punishment or the knowing or their higher being that they, the moon, the stars, whatever God, whatever religion or non-religion, like someone's got a book. It was for me. Yeah, you want purpose? You want to know your purpose? We got to acknowledge.
Yeah. Take all of it, even the shadow stuff. So
Yes.
I bet you never ran over your brother's bicycle twice, eh?
God no. And if he was sitting here right now, he would have his hands on his hips and going, "Yeah, it's about time."
Yeah.
Yeah, the weird things that we get away with.
Mm.
But you know, from that, I received a calling,
Mhm.
and maybe I had the calling already, but I didn't see it, and it was a drastic change, um, to feel what it feels in a broken body,
Yeah.
the physical broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, knowing what that feels like, having that knowing really helped you in your caring work with other people going through similar things.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there has been times where it has been appropriate to share some personal story, um, and because it is an unbelievable story. Especially that what scared me, one of the most things that scared me was like when I had to stand up on those parallel bars and just have my weight down. I could not imagine that I could actually walk through those and then learn how to go on a step.
Mhm.
Oh, but it happened in,
Mhm.
those 2 years. And, I mean, even you know, for the picture, to imagine, like I was pushed. Of course, someone was pushing my chair, but there
Mhm.
are parts where no, I just want to do it. I just want to do it,
Yeah. And
and
it didn't just
kind of
happen,
make the best of
you
it.
made it happen.
Yeah, that's right. Another choice.
Yeah.
Another choice. And during the recovery, yeah, there were times of wallow and pity and um, why has this happened to me? All that human stuff, and it's part of the grief journey, and that's
Mhm.
But this is such a good conversation, Kath, because I've been able to remind myself that I did have choice, that I made mistakes, I've lived through them. Um, and we don't need to live in that shame shit pull.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that.
Mhm.
We move on and just know the knowing is loving you like so, so dearly.
That's a really good like message for people that are listening, because I was going to ask you that question. What's the one thing you'd really like to share about
Oh,
what you now know? And you say you don't have to live with the shame. Is there anything else you just like to say that you really learned from being on the other side and then coming back and feeling all that?
mm, yeah. Well, you know, often people say we're all connected as one, and it's hard to believe unless you experience something like this, a near-death experience. Um, I think the biggest fascination or the biggest like earthly human aspect of our story is that I met my mom's surgeon,
Yeah.
and I'm in a chaplain role. So I already got the calling. He has his calling at that point, and here we are. Like, you know how many things had to happen to bring us to that day? I could have been off that day.
Yeah.
I would never know.
Yeah.
And so these kinds of connections are happening all the time. Um, we just don't. We're busy. We just don't see that. So when you do get a connection, hold on to it and really work with it,
Mm-hmm.
because I think they're here more than not, our connections. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I'd say. And the pain doesn't last,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. The pain will pass. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel really blessed to
Now, if I knew I was going to be video recorded, oh, thank you.
have.
Well, as I was saying, if I knew I didn't know I was going to be on the video, I would have like, got out of my
You,
day clothes but oh well, here we are. Here I am. The knowing is here.
yeah. And I think, yeah, I think your story will touch a lot of people and bring out those resonances and yeah, the aha moments. Hey, something like that did happen to me. Think of all the things that happened before I got to meet that particular person in that moment and the things we've done together. Yeah, I love looking at the little, what I call synchronicities and things that bring us to
Yeah,
important places. Yeah.
yeah. And if someone wants to talk about it, they can get in touch with you. And I wonder how many people have had a similar kind of experience of the knowing and not having pain, but becoming back into the humanness that you have the pain again.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So,
So I hope you all heard that.
yeah,
If you want to talk to Charlene about some aspect of her experience,
yep,
your experience, she's really open to that. So just contact me.
absolutely,
Kathy responds at
absolutely.
gmail.com. And yeah, I just want to lift my hands to you. And I'm so glad you're here. And all the gifts you bring
Thank
to the
you.
world are amazing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, it's my pleasure. And again, um, you are my top of my peeps that I would share this story with. So thank you. It's a great remembering, like putting myself back together, remember. And on this weekend of Thanksgiving is kind of cool. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Gratitude.
what's
I'm
yours?
Thank you everyone for listening and have a wonderful weekend and I appreciate you all.